My name is Teran. I am passionate about the technology. I love to fix issues using technology. My background is a systems engineer. I started programming many years ago in the 80s when we used to do perforated cars and we fit them into mainframes. I have seen the evolution from mainframes to PCs, the evolution of bulletin boards to the internet. And I'm very excited to see artificial intelligence, how it's going to change the future of the humanity. I'm currently the co-founder and CEO of Tenant Evaluation. My background is, like I was saying before, I'm a systems engineer. I'm currently an entrepreneur, and I love living in Marbella. It's an incredible place. I love cars. I have a lot of friends with nice cars, so I get to drive the mountains. I get to enjoy this beautiful weather, amazing food, great people. I decided to move to Marbella with my wife many years ago. We used to come to Europe for 3 months in the summer for the last 20 years. And one day we said, you know what, it would be nice to change a little bit from living in the U.S. and having our kids experience the life in Europe. So we decided about 4 years ago to pack and come and experience the European life. So we're a little bit of gypsies. We like to change and explore. And I'm pretty sure one day we're going to say, you know what, let's go to Hong Kong tomorrow. We like to do those changes and explore this beautiful world. I started my life as an entrepreneur thanks to a seminar with Anthony Robbins called Day with Destiny. Day with Destiny is extremely important for the people who has never done something like that. The first day in the seminar, we walk in fire. And I'm not talking about a small walk. We're talking about from that wall all the way to the other wall in actual burning fire. And if this guy is capable to take in 2,000 people and do that, then you decide like, wow, if I can do this the first day, I can do so many things. In the same seminar, they also have a particular exercise where you go back in your life and you project it. What would be my life if I continue in this road for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years? And when I saw my life flashing in those times with no changes, at that moment I say, you know what? I want to be the master of my destiny by deciding when to take vacations, how long the vacation is going to be, how much money I want to make. And that is pretty much how I started the entrepreneurship road. And as you know, I started with coffee. I did some companies in the 2000s, and now we own Tenant Evaluation. Marbella is an interesting place. When we moved here to Marbella, it was lonely. When they say it's lonely on the top, actually was really lonely. Why? Because we did not have a place like the pool where brilliant minds come and meet and you get to learn from them. There's a lot of brilliant people I have learned here many things, and it's fantastic to come here and be a place of networking and learning. That's what about the pool, they make it very special. Tenant Evaluation was born out of necessity. I remember moving to a building, and my wife was tired to listen to me complaining about the board directors because they were not doing the right job. So she says to me one day, you know, why you don't join the board, and then you make the decision so you don't complain anymore to me. I said, okay, that was a good idea. I took the step. I was voted to, and I won the position in the board. But when I enjoyed the board, I noticed there was a very interesting security problem, which is people that apply to live in the community fill out a piece of paper with the private information there. Social Security, date of birth, current address. And as you know, in the U.S., if you take those 3 things, you can open a credit card. There's no yours. Yeah, it's called identity theft. And that is a huge problem back then. So as an engineer, I say, you know what? This has to be resolved in a different way. We should be using technology So 16 years ago, applying online was something new. Today, everybody does the process online. But back then, when we decided to take the whole A to Z process in a secure way, was very innovative. So that's how the company was born, out of necessity to save and protect the identity of the applicants. Well, tenant evaluation in the U.S., we are sitting around, I would say, 20 employees. We are moving towards applying artificial intelligence in every single process that we implement to expedite and protect identities. Our main goal is always to protect. Right now, we are focusing in many areas. One of the areas is we're going to have the first artificial intelligence final report, which means you're going to have a virtual assistant chatting with you about an applicant. For example, today you get a report with 20 pages, and somebody has to go through those 20 pages to find out where you work, how much money you make, if you have any issues with the law, how much money you have in the bank. But imagine to be able to sit in front of a PC and be able to ask those questions. Or have your assistant, virtual assistant, tell you everything about the applicant. And if you need additional questions, you can ask her or not. So we're going to be changing the industry with this particular feature. So that's one of the biggest changes we are making. Also, we're going to be implementing something called true transparency, where the applicant is going to be able to see everything that comes out every time we run a particular service. For example, if I run a background and I find out that you were taken to jail, I will notify you. At that point, you will be able to say, no, that's not me. I need you to present the documents to prove that needs to be changed. So that's true transparency. So we are going to change the current structure to a more true transparency for everybody, including the board directors, the applicants, and the employees. The pool came to my life as a savior. A friend of mine mentioned about this particular project, and I was really intrigued because, as you know, Marbella is great in many things, but office space is not one of those highlights in the company, in the city. So when he mentioned who is behind the pool and what the intentions of this community to be, I was extremely excited for the possibility of joining a place where I can talk to other entrepreneurs. So I'm very thankful for you guys bringing this project alive. I know how hard it has been for you, but finally the product is incredible. I would say it's the best office space right now in Andalusia. My advice for any entrepreneurs is very simple. You need to focus on proof of concept. And many people don't realize, but proof of concept is the most important part. Because if you can prove that the system works, whatever you decide to do in a small scale, bringing investors is going to be very simple because it's already working. Sometimes we start focusing on the big picture and what we're going to do when we get to 10 million, 20 million, and you become overwhelmed. I would say let's start small, make sure it works. Once it works, the money follow. That will be my advice to anybody who wants to start a company. I think my life consists of, first of my family is the most important part, and constantly learning. I think we live in a very excited planet where so many advances in technology, medicine are coming. So for me, learning about what is going on and not become obsolete is a challenge that I like because it keep my brain working. And as long as I keep my brain working, I think I will be just fine.
2, 1.